Welcome to this episode of Uplifting News Sleep Aid Daily, where we read you good news to fall asleep to. Today is Friday, April 24th, 2020. Our uplifting stories include Tokyo's Pride Parade is going online to support those in isolation. A stolen dog in San Francisco has been found 4 months later in Los Angeles. And Tom Hanks sends a letter and typewriter to a bullied Australian boy named Corona. Now, breathe in. Breathe out. And relax as we dive into these stories. Our first article is from the Mainichi by Miyuki Fujisawa. Tokyo Rainbow Pride Parade 2020 going online to support people isolated by pandemic. Throughout Japan, Pride parades celebrating sexual diversity have been faced with cancellation or postponement due to the coronavirus outbreak. But Tokyo Rainbow Pride 2020, Japan's biggest pride event, will be held as an online parade, according to an announcement by its organizers on April 14th. The Tokyo Parade's facilitators had initially decided to cancel, but later settled on aiming to hold the event in a new form. Although a novel endeavor, the organizers are enthusiastic about hosting the event precisely because it's happening at this time. In recent decades, LGBTQ communities around the world have celebrated their sexual identities and raised awareness of sexual minority issues through parades under the name Pride. Participants walk the street together in bright colors of their choosing. According to organizers, Tokyo Rainbow Pride 2019 saw some 10,000 participants for the parade alone, and overall about 200,000 people when spectators who watched the parade from the sidelines are counted. Although this year's parade in the capital was scheduled to be held from April 25th through May 6th, organizers announced its cancellation on March 19th to prevent the spread of novel coronavirus. Parades in other regions of Japan have also been canceled, including the Central Japan Nagoya Rainbow Pride, scheduled for May 16th, and Sendai Pride Japan in the Northeast Prefecture of Miyagi. The Iwate Rainbow March in the neighboring prefecture of the same name has been pushed back from its intended date of May 9th. Amid this overall trend towards cancellation or postponement, organizers at Tokyo Rainbow Pride 2020 outlined on April 14th that their parade would become an online event. On April 26, between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., the period when the outdoor parade was supposed to go ahead, participants will be able to post pictures and messages on Twitter and Instagram using TRP2020 and Pride at Home hashtags. The entries will be shown on the organizer's website. Additionally, in place of an event scheduled to take place in Yoyogi Park on April 25th and 26th, panels and discussions will be live streamed on the same days. Fumino Sugiyama, 38, representative co-director of Tokyo Rainbow Pride, the nonprofit in charge of the parade, told the Mainichi Shimbun that they had wanted to hold parades and events, however small they may be, once the coronavirus pandemic was contained. But as the situation worsened, they decided that an online event would be the best way to continue their past activities. Sugiyama commented, "When society as a whole is struggling economically, those in weak positions, including sexual minorities, are the ones who will face negative consequences. We hope that the online event can be a source of hope for those that cannot feel safe at home and those that tend to become isolated, by spreading the message that they are not alone." This podcast is hosted on Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free, there's creation tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Our next story is from the San Francisco Chronicle by Matt Kawahara. Read by special guest Todd Cerveris.
Dog stolen 4 months ago outside the Bernal Heights store, located at a Los Angeles animal shelter. A dog that went missing outside a San Francisco grocery store in December has been found in Los Angeles, much to the delight of its owner. Emily Talermo's efforts to locate Jackson, her blue-eyed mini Australian shepherd, included passing out flyers, starting a website called Bring Jackson Home, and hiring a plane to fly a banner over the city after he was lost on December 14. On Monday, Talermo said, she received a call from an animal shelter in Los Angeles. Someone had dropped off a dog, and a scan of his microchip had turned up her phone number. Talermo, 31, said she was skeptical at first and asked the shelter to send a photo. They did, and it's him, Talermo said by phone. I just busted into tears. Friends picked the dog up from the shelter, Talermo said, and promptly called her on FaceTime. He licked the phone hearing my voice and wiggled his butt, Talermo said. On the website, Talermo wrote that Jackson had been stolen the morning of December 14 outside the Good Life grocery store in Bernal Heights after she had tied him up and gone inside. She offered a $7,000 reward for the dog's return and said Monday people in the community had rallied to help her get word out statewide through flyers and social media. The support continued on Monday. Talermo said her car died about an hour before the shelter called, but a San Francisco Police Department detective who was assigned to her case is driving to Los Angeles to retrieve Jackson and bring him back. The shelter didn't say who dropped Jackson off, Talermo said, and she doesn't expect to learn where he has been for the last 4 months. At this point, I'm just happy to have him back, she said. He's fat, so at least he's been fed. And the timing worked out. Talermo is moving out of San Francisco this weekend, returning home to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, the source of Jackson's name, before eventually moving to Portugal. She said Jackson will be going along. He has an international chip, and Talermo has dual European Union citizenship. The universe really delivered, Talermo said.
Our last article is from Reuters by Sonali Paul. Tom Hanks has sent a heartfelt letter and a Corona brand typewriter to an Australian boy who wrote to him about being bullied over his name, Corona. Corona DeVries, an 8-year-old boy from the West Coast, wrote to the Hollywood Star after he and his wife Rita had spent more than 2 weeks in quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19 there. The boy had written to Hanks saying, "I heard on the news you and your wife had caught the coronavirus. Are you okay?" The boy said he loved his name, but people at school called him the coronavirus, which made him sad and angry. "Your letter made my wife and I feel so wonderful," Hanks replied on a Corona typewriter which he had taken to the Gold Coast. "You know, you are the only person I've ever known to have the name Corona, like the ring around the sun, a crown," the double Oscar winner wrote to the boy. "I thought this typewriter would suit you. Ask a grown-up how it works and use it to write me back." Hanks hand-wrote at the end, "P.S. You've got a friend in me." That's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us at Uplifting News Sleep Aid Daily. Visit UNSAD Podcast for more information and links. That's UNSADpodcast.com. Stay safe and stay inside.